2019 Nissan Rogue Sport is a vehicle aimed at millennials. So in this video, we're going to take you through everything that you need to know about this crossover from Nissan to see how it complements the millennial lifestyle. Let's start off by talking about styling. So for 2019, the Rogue Sport has what Nissan calls its emotional geometry design language. Take a look at the Rogue Sport, and I suppose you can see what they're talking about. There's lots of sharp lines, big curves. It's a very interesting design, but styling is always a personal choice. So let us know what you think of the 2019 Rogue Sport by dropping a comment down below. Some important features to point out on the exterior. The headlights, first of all, those are LED daytime running lights, and our tester has the premium package, which means they also get LED low beams, though you guys should know the standard bulbs are halogen bulbs in the front. Move to the back and you can see what Nissan calls the boomerang style LED taillights. Our tester comes in this coat of Caspian blue metallic paint, which is a no-cost color option, and it's gorgeous. Actually, this paint is really pretty to look at. It's a great color. At all four corners, you do get a set of 19-inch alloy rims, which are mighty large for a small crossover. Next, let's talk about performance, or maybe the lack thereof. Under the hood here is a 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder that makes 141 horsepower and 147 pound-feet of torque. In the case of our tester, it sends that power to the front wheels only. This is a front-wheel drive car through a CVT, a continuously variable transmission. Of course, all-wheel drive is available, and it costs $1,350 across the range. To show you how that translates to real-world performance, I went ahead and did a real-world 0 to 60 test. Check that out. All right, real-world 0 to 60 test. One person in the car, 141 horsepower and a mile above sea level. Gonna see how this goes. We'll make a full and complete stop. Reset the solo and floor it. The quickest vehicle we've ever tested, that's for sure. All right, but not a horrible result actually. So here you go. 11.93 0 to 60 at a mile above sea level. So clearly the Nissan Rogue Sport is no rocket ship. In fact, it's actually rather slow. But according to the EPA, at least, it does get pretty decent gas mileage. The EPA says this will get 25 mpg in the city, 32 mpg on the highway for a combined rating of 28 miles to the gallon. And if you take a look at our trip computer, our average real world, at least around the office, has been a little above 28 miles to the gallon. So how does the Nissan Rogue Sport drive? It's pretty good actually. There's fully independent suspension at all four corners, no torsion beams in the rear. So the ride is fairly comfortable, it soaks up bumps well. The only complaint I can think of is the wheels. They're 19-inch alloy wheels and they're just big, you know. It doesn't have a lot of sidewall, so you get a little jiggly here and there. Overall, it's not too bad. The other area of concern has to be road noise. It does feel a little noisy in here, at least to my ears. So I went ahead and did a decibel meter test and check that out. Yeah, so 61, 62 decibels here on the freeway going about 60 miles an hour. It's actually pretty good. From some really luxurious cars, you see something like 59, 60 decibels. So to be only at 62 is pretty impressive. You do get a lot of noise when you're trying to pass someone from the CVT, and there seems to me like there's a little bit of road noise coming through, but overall it's fairly quiet inside the Rogue Sport. Millennials are all about experiences, and to go have fun experiences, you need a vehicle that's practical. So let's talk about utility on the 2019 Rogue Sport. Open the hatch here and you are greeted with 20 cubic feet of storage space behind the second row. Give those a fold and the total cargo space opens up to 53 cubic feet of space, which is quite a lot of room to put your stuff to go have your fun experiences. Once you're in the trunk back here, the Rogue Sport has a lot of clever ways to fit more stuff. You can remove this little carpet piece and then fold up this little guy. And look, it creates a perfect little storage area for your groceries. They won't get tossed around backwards and forwards. Your milk will get home safe. To boot, there's a second one right behind it. Look at that. All sorts of different storage spots here in the Nissan Rogue Sport. Folding the seats, super easy process. All you do is you grab this little handle right next to the seat belt and fold it down, 60-40 split. Pretty simple. When you go on those experiences, you probably want to bring your friends. So let's take a look in the back seat and see how much space there is back there. So the front seat here is adjusted to where my driving position is. I am 6'2" for the record. And there's actually a good amount of space here in the back seat. Obviously I'm a big dude, so I'm suffering a little bit in terms of legroom. And in terms of headroom, well, there is a nice cutout in the roof that helps a bit, but I am pretty close to the ceiling up there. Though if you have slightly smaller friends than me, you guys should be totally fine. There's plenty of space in here for your buddies and your stuff. Hop in the front seat, and it's a similarly comfortable experience up here. Despite having the optional moonroof, which is part of the premium package, there is still a good amount of headroom, plenty of shoulder room, and the only issue that I have personally is that my knee hits this piece of plastic right here and kind of bounces between the steering wheel and the dashboard, which is a little uncomfortable. But again, if you're smaller than 6'2", you probably won't have that issue. Once you're in the front seat, there's a few things that jump out at you right away. The first has to be the steering wheel. It's fairly large, fairly chunky, and it has this really cool flat bottom to it. It feels good in your hands, and more importantly, at least for this time of year, it is heated. There's a little button down by your knee. You can press it and your hands will be warm in no time. So right next to the steering wheel is this infotainment screen. This is a 7-inch touchscreen unit that has been updated for 2019. And the major update that you get with this infotainment system is, well, you finally have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connectivity, which is a wonderful feature for us tech-savvy millennials. One more feature of this 7-inch display, throw the Rogue Sport into reverse, and you'll find the 360-degree surround view monitor, as Nissan calls it. It's a little bit low resolution, but it does paint a really great bird's eye picture of the car's surroundings. Last but not least, let's talk about these seats really quickly. They are fairly comfortable. I think you'd be pretty happy on a long road trip. More importantly, for those of us who live in places where it gets cold during the winter, both of the front seats are heated. The tech offerings do not end with the infotainment screen because this is the SL trim of the 2019 Nissan Rogue Sport. As a result, you get a bunch of standard driver and safety enhancement features, including ProPilot Assist and Nissan Safety Shield 360. What does that include? Well, I have my cheat sheet here to help me tell you. That includes automatic emergency braking, lane departure warning, blind spot warning, rear cross traffic alert, automatic high beams, adaptive cruise control, and lane keeping assist. Now, adaptive cruise and lane keep assist are specifically part of ProPilot Assist. ProPilot Assist essentially is a hands-on driver assistance aid. You have to keep your hands on the wheel while it's running, but it will keep you in your lane and it'll keep you a set distance from the car in front of you. Obviously, the 2019 Nissan Rogue Sport isn't the only crossover being marketed towards young people. So let's talk briefly about some of its closer competition. This includes crossovers like the Honda HR-V, the Toyota CHR, the Mazda CX-3, and the Subaru Crosstrek. To attract that young buyer, Nissan had to make the 2019 Rogue Sport an affordable crossover. And let's talk a little bit about pricing. So for 2019, the Rogue Sport starts at $22,240. Ours is the top end trim. It's the SL trim, which starts at $27,960. But like I've mentioned, ours has the premium package, which ups that price to $31,275 as tested. The only way you could make a Nissan Rogue Sport more expensive is if you got all-wheel drive, which costs $1,350. At the end of the day, this one is pretty pricey, but you can go out and get yourself a Nissan Rogue Sport for under $25,000 with all-wheel drive. To appeal to a young buyer, a car has to do a lot of things really well. It has to be inexpensive to buy and own. It has to be practical. You need space for your buddies and for your stuff. It has to be good on gas, and it has to have a lot of technology. And the Rogue Sport ticks almost all of those boxes. It really does have a lot of features and a lot of options at a fairly inexpensive price point. I hope you guys liked this review. Please drop a comment down below. Tell us what you think of the 2019 Nissan Rogue Sport, and be sure to give this a thumbs up, share it, comment, whatever you want to do, but be sure to come back to TFLcar.com for the latest news, views, real world reviews, and we'll see you guys next time.